18 months when I got there. So it was like, okay, so this is what it's looked like, after I opened, after about a year and a half. And both Mike and Greg welcomed me. Eye-opening, and it's like, okay, I can do this. And so then I followed up about a month and a half later, and went up to Moonlight, and just after Michael took me in, and I told him pretty much what my experience was, and got to working with him, and just sitting here running this bottling line. And money when I open, and that's sort of why I'm pretty confident when it's like, okay, I've only been making meat for a few years. Can I actually do this? And it's like, okay, I have some industry experience. I think I can do this. And I worked in the facility on both ends of the timetable as far as a startup. So owner of the Georgia Honey Farm, and so I've made one of our type of honey that I can't get in the South. But I definitely will add that as traditional. A few of but in that town, I'm in to make more contact with flavors to
an interesting combination.
And it's a black fuzzy peach. It's actually tasted pretty good. So at the same time, I was making a blackberry and a raspberry, and I put the two different ones. I had gotten some two 25-gallon whiskey barrels from a local craft distillery that just started up, and bought two barrels from him, and threw them in that, let them sit for about 6 weeks. It didn't take long. It was just a toast level barrel, not a charcoal level barrel. So I just wanted a little bit of tannins in there, a little bit of oak. So that's the flavor that I got. It's turned out pretty good. I've let a lot of people taste that so far, and they're giving me thumbs up. I guess I should enter them in some contests, but I'm sort of dwindling down the contests that I'm entering because I'm just too busy doing other things.
Right.
But you got to do the local peach if you're in Georgia. You got to do blueberries now that blueberries coming into season. But I really fell in love with blackcurrant, and I'm starting to use it a few more in my blend recipes, if you will. So peach and blackcurrant, black fuzzy peach.
Are you finding any challenges in producing it, or is it going along exactly how you planned it?
It's going as long as I've looked at it. Part of me, I put it out there for my friends, and they say, "Oh, it's great," and they give me feedback. But I'm a perfectionist. It's like I think I need to put a little more maybe currant in it because I like that little dark, twangy kind of taste. So I may do the old batches. I may do light style fruit meads because I've had a lot of good feedback on that. But I'm more of the not real heavy, but at least a good medium to heavy, fruit flavored. You take a sip on it, and I shouldn't even have to tell you what the fruit is. You should know what it is because of the taste, and it's got complex flavors. So that's some of the key things that I'm actually looking for. I still, even though I have some great meads and some award winners, I still haven't found my number one mead that Blair Housley likes.
Well, that's fair. So how about talking about the heritage? You'd mentioned in your background information that you and your wife have some Cherokee heritage, and that the name of the meadery harks back to the Etowah River, which, does this have big significance for you?
It does. I've always been told that, part of my family descends from the Cherokee people prior to the Trail of Tears. The same with my wife. Her family is actually more involved with it and has a more solid history. Some of her ancestors were, I guess high in the food chain, if you will. It was the women, actually, that was the, I guess what you would call a chief. They were actually the leaders of the tribe and made decisions, and part of her family was part of the treaty signers that was on different bills with the state of Georgia and the nation prior to the Trail of Tears. So we've always had that kind of heritage growing up. Of course, growing up in high school, it's like, all right, what do we do after high school? Oh, we go fishing and we do things like that. And part of the river trail system was the Etowah River. And so I have a lot of my friends that we grew up in the Etowah and fishing. And, when you're in the valleys and you go find pottery shards from the old Cherokee villages that was there, it sort of gives you a sense of history. And every year in Dahlonega, third weekend in October, there's a Gold Rush Festival. And, of course, they're celebrating the discovery of gold, but that was also the demise of part of the Cherokee because of the Trail of Tears. So there's it's a happy and sad moment at the same time because a lot of history evolved around that small town. So it does have a lot of history for me, and that's why I picked that name. When I started out brewing, actually, since Dahlonega is a mining town, the mining go, that we had thought about maybe having a different name, and it was actually Mine Shaft Brewing Company. And so we went down that road. It's like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. You know, we come up with logos and stuff like that. But then when I did a national search on it, it's like, oh, somebody's already using that out in Utah. It's like, okay, we're not can't use that. So you live and learn and you move on. So it's like, you know, I really love the name Etowah. I love the outdoors. I love that the Native Americans actually grew fruit, you know, on the Etowah River. And was already growing figs and peaches and stuff myself. It's like, you know, I think that'll be a good fit for our company. So that's the road we went down. I thought about incorporating some of the pottery shard design into the logo, but I didn't know if people would actually get that. That's outside of our region. It's going to be hard enough trying to explain what Etowah means outside of our, you know, North Georgia area. So some of the struggles that I've had is with the final logo. I think it's a good logo. And of course, when we do our labels, we'll throw in honey designs and bee designs and things like that that sort of indicate that, you know, we are a meadery, you know, wine made from honey instead of something else.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
So when are you thinking you're going to try to be open by? What's the plan? Did you get your paperwork in yet?
Not yet. But I was hoping that I could submit my floor plan, proceed floor plan, if you will, with the TTB. But after the advanced mead making in California at UC Davis and talking to the TTB lady, she says, no, you actually have to have a physical location already made. Because I actually have property up there that I was going to build the meadery on as a start and then as a finish. But she said, no, you actually need a spot. So instead of me wasting another 6 months, if you will, trying to build a facility and get all the approvals for that, I believe I'm just going to lease a spot for a couple of years, see how it goes, and then maybe since the spot that I've looked at is actually downtown Dahlonega, it'll afford me the opportunity to not only have a lot of the visitor traffic because it is a tourist-style city. Dahlonega has been, I guess, through Georgia Congress, rated the wine capital of Georgia. So it's a good place to have it. We have a couple of 100,000 visitors that come up in October, and a few of the festivals. So I'm just going to lease a spot. I just went and looked at it actually last weekend and met with the owner and told him what the plans were. And I had looked at it before last year, but kind of it's like, oh, this is not going to work. So he's agreed to do a step lease with me that's very economical towards my budget. So we're moving ahead on that. So I'm hoping to sign a lease maybe by the end of this month and definitely next month, and then I'll finalize all the paperwork as far as the TTB and get that ball rolling. So I'm hoping to at least be open in time for the tourist season in October.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm actually, the way I look at it, it's like I'm just in my own way now. It's like there's so many things that needs to be done, but it's like, all right, I have to do this. And I was telling my wife, it's like I need to make me a storyboard or a schedule of what everything needs to be done to lead to the path of opening. Like I hear all this political stuff going on. What's the path, you know? So
it's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah, I mean that's. Yeah. You know, when building a business, I do marketing, consulting, and coaching for craft beverages in my real life, and that's one of the things that we do is you sit down and basically storyboard it. I mean, you lay out the path